What is up, everyone? Welcome back. I hope you are all doing incredibly well with the whole COVID-19 pandemic that is currently shaking the world at the time of my filming this video. So I hope you're doing all doing well. I hope this adds a little bit of respite and solace. You guys get to hang out with me and listen to what I'm sure is going to be an absolutely fantastic record, or EP in this case. Massive thank you to all of you for all of the comments for the Black EP that I did a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, it's taken me too long. I envision doing these every couple of days as opposed to a couple of weeks. I really do want to get through this as quickly as possible. And then hopefully Matthew Gigante, who has been putting these guides together, will be able to get Act 4 up, and we can go ahead and do Act 4. But really appreciate your comments and the insight into the color spectrum. I knew there was some kind of concept, and it's simply just how Casey interprets each color, how he sees it from a musical standpoint, which is great. Black was a joy to do because I really loved just being able to hear the band in a different context from how you normally hear them in the acts. I've gone from Act 1 to 3 so far, and this is where we stopped because the color spectrum came in. And I love being able to hear the different interpretations of the band's sound because Casey's such a talented writer and multi-instrumentalist, and the band themselves, all the other musicians involved in the band are absolutely fantastic players. And to hear them in those different spectrums, if you will, are really impressive. So today we're doing Red. I've been looking forward to it since I heard Black. This was a record that I really did just want to get into. It can be tough when you are able to find your footing and love a band and just enjoy what they're creating, knowing I have to hold off because I want to do it for all of you wonderful people out there. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first track of the Red EP is I Could Do It Alone, which is aptly titled because I can't do all of this alone without all of you wonderful people. So let's go ahead and get into it. The band is Deer Hunter. The album or collection is The Color Spectrum. The very first track is I Couldn't Do It Alone. And here we go. All right. I didn't expect it to jump into it. Normally there's a build. That's different. I almost feel like I'm listening to an old Weezer record. I really dig that feeling. I like that overdriven dirt on the guitar tones there. Really snappy snare sound, but you can hear a little bit of the chains. It's a great sound. Bass line is so rich. I almost get a bit of that Nirvana feeling too. I feel like I'm listening to 90s grunge. Love the ask and answer bit of the chorus. That's great. Really cool accent line there. Those big floor tom hits sound great when they break up that drum pattern a little bit. It's simple and it's really effective. And that walking bass line is so nice. I love how the bass player tosses in these little accent notes just here and there. Love those big bends. I love the layering on the guitars there. Clearly multi-track them so you can get those different layers of the bend. Love it how every 2 bars you're getting a little bit of a bass accent there. You get that little harmonic as they punctuate each phrase. That's great. Is that a B organ solo? Oh, that's awesome. Wish that was up just a little bit more. That was great. Next track is The Curse of Cynicism. There's that big mid-range that he stretches up high in his voice. The way he manipulates his voice is one of the things I absolutely love every time I listen to him. Love how the bass line's driving this and the guitars are playing around it and playing accent parts. I like how that accent on the left side, guitar-wise, is almost mimicking the vocal line. It's a really cool touch. I don't know if there's a chorus effect on the bass line, but it's almost like you're getting two parts of that bass line, and it's really, really cool touch. It really helps drive this track. I also love how the bass lines here are finger picked. You can hear it's got less attack. It's a bit more warm. It's so simple, yet it's not. There's layers to it. There's a little bit of complexity. The next track is Deny It All. Awesome. A little bit of a shift here. This definitely has more the Deer Hunter that I'm used to. but it's all up tempo. Definitely get a bit more of that 90s alt rock feeling. Really like this context. So catchy. God, I love the movement in that bass line. The bass work on this EP is so good. There's a little bit of dirt on it too. It's not a completely clean and pristine tone. That tom pattern by the drummer is fantastic. Some really cool things going on. And there's a depth to the accent work, the guitars. It's just backed off a bit in the mix, so it's hard for me to make it out. Great tempo change. I like how you're hearing that string noise there. I like that they kept that in. Great bit of reverb, just a touch of delay on that as well. Real subtle vibrato being used on the guitars on the right side. The guitar work has this great nuance to it, even though it sounds straightforward. Ah, 3 down already. I don't want this to end yet. The last track is we've got a score to settle. Like the chugs. Big open chords there. And that. Love that additional guitar line there. It's providing a bit more of a noise feeling. Bit of grit, fuzz on that tone. There's that part of his voice that I love. Well, there's not a part that I don't. There's parts that I truly enjoy when he goes into, and this is one. There's that big vocal chorus that they use so effectively. Really like that riff. Just taking that pattern and moving it down the fretboard. And I love the accents behind it. Ooh. These tones that they've dialed in for the guitars sound so great. There's so much of that additional buzz to it that really brings this track even more to life. Love those massive bends being used. The solos are simple, but they're so effective because they just grab at the soul. Oh. And reluctantly, I hit pause to start the next color. Yet another day, another video for you wonderful, wonderful people out there. Damn, that was good. It's a fantastic EP. It's so short. And we're talking just barely breaking the 13, 14 minute mark there. Adding these tracks up here, you're just barely breaking past it. But 4 tracks, they flow together so well. They hit so hard. There's that similar sound and that context of the band, yet there's enough difference and twists that even in 4 tracks, you felt like you just got such an amazing performance out of TDH and really gotten your money's worth out of it. I've said so much about these guys in every video I've done because truly I'm blown away, and I'm very happy that my musical tastes have changed over the past couple of years of doing the channel, coming from a very hard rock and metal focused background with a love of grunge and that type of heavier alt rock, and getting in, finally sliding into more of the emo styles and grabbing onto those vocals, which I struggled to do with for so long, has really exposed me to bands like Deer Hunter, Decemberists, Coheed and Cambria, Dirt Poor Robins, and I'm in a better headspace and a more open space to listen to this stuff and truly enjoy it and see just how good it is and how amazing these tracks are. So massive thank you to all of you, because that was an experience. That first track opens up, it really harkens back to my adolescence with Weezer back in the mid to late 90s. Get a bit of that Nirvana feeling as well in that first track. The first couple tracks really do have that very 90s alt rock feeling, but they just open up and more of what I'm used to from the Deer Hunter comes in. Of course, how is it not going to, with the fact that you do have Casey doing all of this and just such a powerful, diverse set of pipes on him vocally. growing up loving bands like Candlebox and Tesla and the Allman Brothers and bands that really just take vocal phrases and they just stretch them out in different ways. I love it every time he opens that range up and stretches those vocals out. It gives him so much flexibility as far as his vocal melodies and his phrasing goes. The drum sound is just gorgeous. I will say the hi-hat's a little backed off as compared to other records, especially in the act so far, where the hi-hat is very much more forward and present because they're using it for a lot of accents. They're using a bit more of the jazzy, semi-jazzy approach. So you do get a lot more of the emphasis there. But their drummer always does a great job with what he plays in the hi-hat. And so you get a little less of that, but the tom sound is big. The snare sound sounds so good. That kick sound is so thick and snappy and robust. And it really fits what they're doing. These guys are clearly have an idea of what they want tonally from every one of the instruments, and it really helps to put such a big emphasis on Casey as a vocalist and allowing that instrument itself to truly take center stage and highlight everything. The guitar tones in the last track, that heavy dose of fuzz really ringing through when they're doing those open chord strums and getting some of those almost like sludgy sounds out of it. The bass tone has just a little bit of grit, and the bass player seems to alternate song by song what works, be it a pick or fingers, on what's gonna fit the song more, which I love. I love that versatility. The entire EP here is playing with his fingers, and you get that warmth and less of that bitey attack on the strings that you get when somebody's playing with a pick. And I think it really works. There's some great runs and some accents, I believe, in that second track, A Curse of Cynicism and To Deny It All. And overall, I love the way these 4 tracks flow. I love how they don't let up. It's 4 up tempo, faster, harder hitting tracks as opposed to the electronic, almost pseudo industrial madness of Black. And I cannot wait to hear the next color, which I believe is going to be orange. I know several of you have said that is your favorite, so anxiously awaiting that. As I shoot this it's on a Saturday. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday because I need to get some bands in, but I can get that done. This is just fun. It's there's that emotional weight, but it's not as powerful and soul crushing as some of the other stuff, like Black, for instance. So, to go full pun on everyone here, color me intrigued to hear the rest of the colors. This is so much fun. It's such a great journey, and I'm really getting more and more hooked on it. So, and I figure I'll post a question here on this video because I know a lot of you that are listening with TDH are emo fans. I'll probably do another video about it as well. But I'm thinking of doing a record that I struggled to ever really like, and I honestly haven't given it the fair shake that I should, from a band that's pretty controversial as far as opinions go musically. And I mean, if I do a video on it, I'll explain where I come from on it. But having great conversations with Coheed and Deer Hunter fans on a pretty regular basis always brings up music that I'm not necessarily into. And, you know, doing these, my tastes have certainly changed, and I feel like I'm more open and amenable to it these days. So I've had some recommendations to actually sit down and do a full video on My Chemical Romance's Black Parade. Obviously, I would have to put that up on my Google Drive and put a link up in YouTube and probably on Patreon as well. But should I do it? Should I sit down, do a full listen to the record, and give it as unbiased of a listen as I possibly can? Would you guys be interested in that? Let me know. I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts, because maybe at this point in my life, with tastes being far more broad than they were back in 06, I could, and knowing more about the record than I did back then, maybe I can give it a much, much more fair listen. And, well, Evergrey doesn't have any record coming out anytime soon, like it did in 06. Or like they did in 06. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you're all well. I truly do. Thank you so much for being a part of these. It truly means a lot to me to be able to do these for you. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you always to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders, as well as the medical professionals and the truck drivers and the service industry personnel out there right now that are really out there doing everything for us, keeping things open, reopening things, and being exposed to this. I truly understand what it feels like to put your life on the line every day. So I appreciate your sacrifices and the risks you're taking. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. As always, you guys have been awesome. I have been Bald Man. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep headbanging.